In today's world, where every morning begins with a flood of notifications and messages, the simple act of sending a good morning message can seem like a minor formality. However, few realize that behind this apparent simplicity lies a powerful potential to radically alter the recipient's day. It's like playing roulette, where attention and favor are at stake. A well-chosen message can be that ray of light that awakens interest and makes them think of you throughout the day. On the other hand, a failed or impersonal message risks getting lost in the crowd, sending the sender into oblivion. But what if there was a way to control this game, turning each message into a conscious tool of influence? What if every word sent early in the morning could purposefully affect emotions, arouse curiosity, and cement the sender's image in the recipient's mind even before they are fully awake? Carl Gustav Jung, the eminent Swiss psychologist, deeply understood the power of words, asserting that words are not just empty sounds, but symbols laden with profound meaning. They are like keys that unlock hidden doors to the unconscious. Once you realize this truth, your messages will cease to be ordinary lines of text. They will turn into powerful emotional experiences, capable of leaving an indelible mark on the heart and memory. Many women, as if following an unspoken script, repeatedly make the same mistake in communication. Their morning messages often lack substance, seem bland, and sometimes evoke boredom with their monotony. "Hi, how was your night? Have a good day." Of course, these words exude courtesy and friendliness, but the effectiveness of this approach is highly questionable. And here's why. Such phrases are not capable of touching the heartstrings, evoking vivid emotions, awakening pleasant memories, or igniting a spark of desire. Skilled communicators know that the essence is not in the words themselves, but in the manner in which they are spoken or written, and most importantly, in the feelings they evoke in the interlocutor. Epictetus, the ancient Greek philosopher, once noted that we are influenced not so much by the events themselves as by our interpretation of these events. Carl Jung, the eminent Swiss psychologist, would undoubtedly agree with this statement, because true power lies not in the message itself, but in the storm of emotions it can evoke. Next, we will talk about 7 types of morning messages that go beyond ordinary pleasantries. These are skillfully crafted phrases designed to activate those areas of the male brain that are responsible for attraction, curiosity, and inner motivation to act. They break down familiar patterns of expectation and subtly instill in his mind a thought that will accompany him throughout the day. Surely every woman is familiar with the situation when a message full of hope and anticipation goes unanswered. Neither the coveted "seen" nor a word in reply, only a painful emptiness, and of course it hurts. But before blaming him for callousness, it's worth pausing for a moment and analyzing the situation. Perhaps the problem lies not in him, but in the content of the sent message, which failed to catch on and elicit the desired reaction. Impersonal messages, like locked gates, do not evoke a response in hearts. Imagine if a stranger approached you with a banal, "Hi, how are you?" It's unlikely that this would cause a burst of enthusiasm, because such an appeal does not strike a chord, does not create a feeling that you are seen and valued. Even worse, when messages hint at hidden need, for example, "Good morning, handsome, I hope you have a wonderful day. Looking forward to meeting you. Sorry for bothering you. I just wanted to write." However sweet this may sound, the subtext is clear. I give you my attention for free, without asking anything in return. I am here and waiting. This, alas, extinguishes the slightest spark of attraction. Jung spoke of our tendency to unconsciously project internal needs onto others. It is this that often repels people, rather than bringing them closer. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "A person's value is determined by what he gives to others." This is also true for your messages. If they do not carry emotional value, they are forgotten instantly. So how do you compose a message that will make him stop, smile, think, and remember you? To ignite a spark of interest and snatch a man out of his everyday routine, you need to master the art of intrigue. There are proven formulas that can awaken his genuine curiosity and make him look forward to hearing from you. For example, you can intrigue him by starting the message with the phrase, you'll never guess what I dreamed about you last night. Humor is another powerful tool. Share a funny story related to him. Yesterday, there was a situation that reminded me so much of you that I still can't stop laughing. Alternatively, you can use mystery. Something incredible happened to me this morning that made me think of you, but you'll never guess what it was. The main thing is not to reveal all the cards at once. Too explicit messages often lead to disappointment and break off the thread of the conversation, like a trailer that reveals the ending of a movie in the first few seconds. As Jung said, the unconscious reacts most strongly to what is hidden from the eyes. Mystery awakens the imagination, and imagination creates attraction. A message shrouded in mystery, like a slightly open door, beckons you to look inside. A man simply cannot resist the temptation to find out what is behind this veil. There is a phrase that has an amazing power of influence on the human mind. Good morning, you won't believe what I dreamed about you last night. What is the secret of its effectiveness? It activates a deep mechanism inherent in the very nature of the human mind. Our brain dislikes incompleteness, situations where something remains unsaid or unclear. At such moments, it automatically begins searching for answers, striving to fill in the gaps in information. This phenomenon was described by the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung in his concept of archetypes and symbols. The unknown and mysterious has a special appeal, capturing our attention. Such a message instantly captures the imagination of the recipient without creating a sense of intrusiveness. Questions begin to swarm in his head. What exactly did the sender dream about? Was the dream romantic, funny, or passionate? Even before he realizes what is happening, thoughts of you will have already firmly captured his attention. However, an important rule comes into play here. Don't rush to answer if he decides to ask about the content of the dream. Give free rein to his imagination. Let him suffer a little in ignorance. After a while, you can answer something like, "It was too exciting to simply talk about it in a message. Try to guess what I dreamed about." This small dose of mystery creates a vivid emotional experience that will be remembered for a long time. He may not remember exactly the words you said, but he will surely remember the feelings that you were able to awaken in him. Moving on to the second type of message, capable of touching the most secret corners of the soul, it should be noted that without penetrating the emotional sphere, a person risks remaining just one of many in the flow of everyday life. Perhaps everyone has had conversations that took place in a pleasant way, but did not reach the depths of true understanding. The words sounded but did not cause a spiritual response. As Carl Jung shrewdly noted, repressed emotions do not disappear without a trace, but subsequently manifest themselves in other forms. It is this emotional level that becomes the foundation for genuine intimacy, surpassing superficial manifestations of sympathy. As an example of a strong, emotionally charged text, you can cite the following message. Good morning, may this day bring you many successes. Tell me, what is your most cherished dream right now? Such an appeal goes beyond trivial greetings and opens up space for sincerity and self-expression. The deep need of every person is to be understood and appreciated, and if a woman can create such an atmosphere, a man will certainly remember her. If a man entrusts her with his dream, it is necessary to show sincere attention and participation. You should value his every word, note his unique vision, even if it seems far from your own worldview. An answer like, "That sounds just incredible. What exactly inspired you to do this?" is able to strengthen the connection much more than many meaningless compliments. After all, someone who knows how to touch hearts does not need to resort to loud statements in order to remain in memory forever. It is proposed to continue the conversation, skillfully touching the strings of the interlocutor's imagination in order to evoke vivid dreams and a lasting emotional response in him. After all, those conversations that can capture thoughts for a long time and cause an involuntary smile are of the greatest value. Words have an amazing ability to create entire universes in the human mind. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung argued, fantasy and imagination serve as peculiar bridges connecting us to the depths of the unconscious, where genuine desires originate. A message capable of launching this mechanism might sound, for example, like this. Imagine that right now you have the opportunity to instantly move to any point on the globe. Where would you go? Such a question immediately launches an internal journey. Perhaps his imagination will take him to a secluded sandy beach where azure waves are splashing, or, on the contrary, he will find himself in a noisy square in the heart of Italy, where life is in full swing and music is playing. Or maybe he'd prefer to be at the epicenter of a thrilling adventure, full of surprises and risk. And so, without even realizing it, you become part of this mental image, subtly and deeply penetrating his world. The emotions he experiences at that moment are subconsciously associated with you, and as soon as this emotional connection is formed, the person becomes unforgettable. To leave a lasting impression, avoid superficiality in communication. If a man mentions his time in Paris, don't just say, "Oh, that's nice." Instead, you could paint a picture. I imagine you wandering through Montmartre with a cup of coffee, lost in thought. Do you feel a connection to French culture? By developing the topic, the woman helps the man visualize the situation, feel the moment more deeply, and, as a result, be remembered not just as a pleasant pastime, but as a person who is hard to forget. The next step is to spark curiosity. This is a powerful emotional trigger that can make a person think about the woman much more often than she might expect. Remember the phrase, "we need to talk," which instantly generates a multitude of thoughts in the head. It is this feeling, but in a positive way, that needs to be evoked. A message like, "Good morning, something occurred to me that made me look at you in a new light," acts as an emotional alarm clock. He will wonder what is meant, what has changed, what she suddenly saw in him. Something beautiful, exciting, or unexpected. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, a space where we share deeply rooted symbols, emotions, and ideas. This is where such a message lands. It creates tension, a story that has begun but is not yet finished. It's important not to reveal everything at once. Playing with understatement, with anticipation, for example, with the phrase, "I won't say yet, but trust me, you'll want to know," creates emotional anticipation, which is addictive. It's like when you tell half a story and you can't stop thinking about it. You want to know what's missing, what wasn't said. It is this gap in the head that awakens longing. Jung argued that the hidden becomes a projection, and the projection gains power. Mystery attracts, obviousness loses appeal. The perfect text to activate curiosity would be, "Good morning. Something incredible happened yesterday and I immediately thought of you. I'll tell you later." After reading this, the man will begin to make guesses. What happened? Why me specifically? Was it funny, touching, or intimate? The woman opens a window into something special, but doesn't allow him to enter it immediately. That's the magic. Such a message creates a so-called open thought process, which is difficult to get rid of until you get an answer. It's like turning on a song and stopping it before the chorus. The brain craves to hear the next note. Don't make the mistake of giving everything away at once. If he asks, you can answer, "I don't know if I should tell you, but it made me smile." The tension continues to build, and he feels he must earn these words. Jung explained that what is hidden in the unconscious eventually acquires meaning. Whoever controls the rhythm of communication also controls emotional intimacy. Moving on to the fifth type of message, it is important to note the power of nostalgia. Memories, skillfully woven into the fabric of communication, can have a profound emotional impact. Everyone knows the feeling when a familiar melody suddenly transports you to the past, resurrecting memories of moments spent with loved ones. Memories have a unique ability to awaken feelings, smells, and colors of bygone days. Even a minor detail can trigger a whole chain of associations. Epictetus rightly pointed out that the determining factor is not the event itself, but how it is imprinted in our memory. In turn, Jung emphasized the emotional and symbolic value that we carry within us from the past. If you manage to awaken shared memories, whether real or imagined, a strong connection with positive emotions arises. For example, the message, "Good morning, today I remembered our walk in the park. It was unforgettable. Want to do it again?" allows you to achieve two goals at once, to actualize pleasant memories and create a perspective for new ones. This evokes an emotional response, and even if there are no shared memories yet, they can be created. Emotional perception becomes reality, even if it exists only in the imagination. Recalling a conversation about the sea, you can say, "Today I imagined walking along the beach at sunset, hearing the sound of the surf, and suddenly you appear next to me. Want to make it a reality?" Thus, an image is created in the person's mind in which the sender of the message is present, even if this has not yet happened in reality. After all, what we feel leaves a deeper mark than what actually happened. Moving on to the sixth type of message, it's worth noting compliments that can deeply touch the heart. It's not about superficial assessments of appearance, but the ability to emphasize a person's uniqueness, to make them feel special. A sincere compliment is like a carefully chosen gift, made specifically for them, not hastily bought at the nearest store. There are gifts that anyone can give, but there are also those that only someone who really knows the person can give. The same applies to words. What compliments stick in the memory? Of course, those that sound genuine and individual, reflecting a true perception of the personality. Compliments act like vivid impressions. Only what evokes an emotional response leaves a lasting mark on the memory. Marcus Aurelius once noted that everyone strives for recognition, but only a few receive it honestly. If a woman can give a man this sincere form of appreciation, she will certainly stand out from the rest. An example of a powerful message is, "Good morning, you know what I admire most about you, your ability to find humor in any situation, it's simply infectious." This message contains three key elements. First, it's specific. Instead of a banal, "You're cute," a specific quality is emphasized. Second, it's authentic. The man feels that he is truly seen and understood. And third, it connects the woman to his actions. Every time he shows this quality again, he will remember her. At the same time, it's important to avoid general and exaggerated compliments such as, "You are the most wonderful person in the world." Such phrases quickly lose their value and can sound insincere or even desperate. Instead, pay attention to the little things that a man may not even notice about himself. His voice when he talks about things that are important to him, his laughter, his movements when he is passionate about something. If a woman notices these moments and shows that she appreciates them, it evokes a strong emotional response. And women who leave an emotional mark become unforgettable. Have you ever noticed how he gestures with his hands when he's enthusiastically explaining something, or how his expression changes when he talks about his dreams? It is these small, seemingly insignificant gestures that reveal his true self. And if a woman can note these details, she will touch something deep within him. People are subconsciously drawn to those who truly see them. If a man notices that a woman recognizes in him what others overlook, he will think of her in every such moment. Carl Jung argued that each of us has a deep, often unconscious desire to be seen not only for what we show, but for who we really are. The one who can satisfy this desire will become unforgettable. So we move on to the seventh, final, and perhaps most powerful type of message. A message that creates anticipation. Anticipation is a powerful force that ignites desire. Each of us has probably experienced the agonizing wait for something desirable, which completely takes over our thoughts. Whether it's a long-awaited meeting, a cherished gift, or a significant event, when anticipation is filled with emotions, the ordinary transforms into magic. Imagine a situation. You are in your favorite restaurant, looking forward to a signature dish, but instead of immediate service, the waiter with a mysterious smile says, "Today we have prepared something special for you, a surprise from the chef." This slight delay does not cause irritation, but rather enhances the desire. As Seneca stated, easily accessible things are rarely valued. Jung added that the hidden affects the subconscious more than the obvious. Therefore, if you can instill in someone a sense of anticipation for something special, whether it's an exciting story, an important detail, or a touching gesture, attention will be won on a deeper level. For example, the message, "Good morning, I'm preparing a surprise for you. I can't wait for your reaction," can have an amazing effect. It triggers 3 emotional processes at once. First, curiosity, the desire to know what is planned. Second, thoughts about you throughout the day, scrolling through possible scenarios. And third, control over the moment of tension release. You control the game. And here's a little secret. It's not necessary to prepare a grandiose surprise. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift or a complicated plan. Sometimes a small thing filled with meaning is enough, a memorable memory, a song that connects you, a love message, an insignificant thing that will make you smile, or a favorite drink offered at the right moment. After all, in the end, it's not the actions that matter, but the feelings